BlackRock, which is what's amazing to me now is and we've been following this. I spoke to Mullen about it when I was in New York, and he made some great points about corporate landlords just owning everything in America, individual landlords disappearing, people not having to pay their rent. So then a lot of these landlords have to sell their properties. And then, who comes in and buys them? BlackRock or Blackstone, same thing, right? Blackstone buys 12,000 Sunbelt apartments for $5.8 billion. This is from Zero Hedge. Wall Street won't rest until it becomes the biggest and perhaps only landlord in the U.S. On Wednesday, Blackstone cemented its position as America's largest residential and commercial landlord by buying apartment owner preferred apartment communities in a deal valued at $5.8 billion, demonstrating the unstoppable investor demand for multifamily, i.e. rental properties in Sunbelt states. According to Wall Street Journal, Blackstone will pay $25 a share in cash for the Atlanta-based real estate investment trust. That represents a premium of roughly 39% over the closing price on February 9th, the day before Bloomberg News reported the REIT was exploring options, including a sale. So the deal includes more than 40 rental apartment properties, including 12,000 units in states including Florida, Tennessee, and Georgia. That's what they mean by Sunbelt. Preferred Apartment also owns 54 grocery-anchored shopping centers anchored by grocery stores, probably like Publix. About 70% of the deal's value is in its rental apartments. Wow. So Blackstone, now they're ramping up its bet on U.S. rental housing. Blackstone, I want you to think about it. This is fun. We like to read the article and go, why is this? This keeps falling down here. I keep adjusting this and it doesn't matter. It just keeps. So listen to this. Blackstone has been aggressively ramping up its bet on U.S. rental housing. The firm has agreed to buy two other companies that own apartments in the past 2 months, building up its presence in states including Colorado, Texas, Arizona, and Georgia. Well, what do they mean by that? Ramping up its bet on U.S. rental housing. Well, they're betting, and they're correct, that people are not going to be able to own homes, or that more people in the future are going to rent. This is their bet. And they're probably correct, because the cost of home ownership in this country is, ludicrous, especially in places where you'd want to live. So companies like Blackstone go, listen, the future is going to be the gig economy, where you have people that hop from gig to gig, and they're going to be permanent renters, and that's what it's going to be. They're not going to own property. They may not even own a car. They're going to use services like Uber and Lyft, and they're going to rent an apartment. They're not going to own much of anything. And according to that article, you're going to love it. You're going to be happy. And, the American dream is turning from home ownership and family to something else entirely. It's really what it's becoming. It used to be the American dream as stated. Now, how possible it was, and, whether it was legit then, certainly more legit seeming than now. Yes, of course, it didn't include but what about non-binary poets? I know. Yes, I know yes, thank you. They were left out. But the American dream, it was a family and property, kind of, right? Community based on those things, family, property. You own property. You have a family. You're in a community. There's industry. The community thrives. Everybody kind of succeeds together, fails together. There's an investment. There are social commitments. Things are more local. Now things are global. You don't have a family. Everybody lives in a city. Everybody's alone. Everybody's on OnlyFans flicking their bean. Everybody's taking multiple pills just to get out of bed in the morning and then another round of pills just to get back into bed at night. People are severed from their community. They're severed from any social commitments. The only communities they're a part of are digital communities that are incredibly toxic, that are centered around overthrowing the government or owning a picture of an ape. But life has changed. The American dream has changed. And Blackstone gets this. They know where we're going. They're not dummies. They can see it. They go, how the hell are they going to afford this? They're going to rent and they'll be happy to do it. People go, why do I need a home? I don't have a family. You know, what do I need a home? You know, I have houses and I go, I don't really need houses, but they're good investments and I like houses and I certainly have friends over, but I don't need a house because I don't have a family. So I don't need a house, but I guess nobody needs anything. But the reason to have it, like Ben and his wife always remind me that I don't need a home. They always go, you don't need to live in a house. You don't have a family because they're heterosexuals. So they're going to have a family. So that means they deserve a house. So I should give my house to them. I have multiple homes. I should give them all to them. But that's the point because I don't need it. As a gay guy who's single, I don't need square footage. I don't need space. I'm to give it to them. Well, no, they can get it. They can get their own. But I'm always constantly told I don't need a house. And they're right to that to an extent because I don't have a family. But that is why most people buy houses. So as families, family formation is low and it's happening later in life. People just don't need to buy fucking houses. Now, you've brought up an interesting chart here. The National Rent Index up 18% year over year. Why don't you tell the people about this chart that you've brought up?
So it says,
why are you laughing?
I didn't ever say you didn't need a home.
You and your wife have constantly.
I've never said that.
You've constantly.
If a house is like 7 bedrooms before, I'm like, I don't think you need 7 bedrooms. I think I've said that, but I don't think I've said.
But it's because.
No.
Yes, it is. You've made me feel bad for being gay, and you've said that gay people don't deserve homes. Well, gay people, a lot of us have more money than you as a straight person. Because if you didn't meet me, you'd be working tilling the land. I don't know what the hell you'd be doing. But gay people have higher than average incomes and they're creative. But you're telling me, what if I want to adopt kids? What if I want to adopt children?
I'm for that. To fill the rooms, buy the space, and fill the rooms.
That's if I adopted a child, could you get it for me and figure it out?
Yeah, it's a long process, though. You need lawyers.
Well, how involved do I have to be?
I read a book about it. It's a pretty
Why
big
did
deal.
you read a book about it?
It was in a...
You read a book about gay adoption?
No, not gay adoption, but...
Just adoption in general?
It was in Bubba Watson's book. He's a PGA Tour player. He talks about adopting kids.
And it took him a long time.
Yeah, it took
Even
about a year.
Bubba Watson?
Yeah, he's got tons of money.
He's a millionaire.
He had to get on planes.
Isn't he a drunk, though?
No, he's sober. He's dead sober.
Oh. Who's the drunk who loves Trump?
John Daly.
Yeah, because him I get. They go, let's take a beat before we give you a kid. Yeah. But so I've always heard this, that adoption is very hard. That's my whole thing with abortion. And I'm for abort, but I'm like, listen, maybe we make adoption easier so that we're not putting these kids in mills, right? It's a nice timeout for the woman, 9 months, nice timeout. You get to eat whatever you want, sit on the bed, put her on the Tempur-Pedic, get her a tub of ice cream, and then give the kid to somebody who can't have it. I always thought that was the way to do it. Give her some pickles. You know they get weird cravings. Give her pickles, a tub of Rocky Road, pop the baby out, and then give it to a family. But why is it so hard to adopt a kid?
I think
everything is about, I hate to say it, and I don't want to sound like a paranoid person, but it's really all about, it's all sex trafficking.
Yes.
It's
what it seems.
It's true. It's like CPS, the Child Protective Services, is like, and I want to have Eliza Blue on the human trafficking. Do you follow her on Twitter?
She's great. Yeah,
I want to know if she knows anything about the CPS because they're crazy what they do. They just take kids and then they go. Nobody knows what happens to the kids, but they take them out of these situations that are supposedly bad. And I'm not saying that all of these situations aren't bad, but these kids end up in foster care. And the link between that and trafficking, it's crazy. But I think we need to make adoption easier. But what I'm saying about this is when you guilt me and you attack me and say, you don't, because you've said multiple times to me when I had my mansion in Palm Springs or my big kind of like a mini mansion in the valley. And you were like, oh, you don't need this. But I told you a million fucking times I wanted to have a Christmas party with Logan Paul and Barry Weiss. That's the whole fucking point of having the square footage is to have a party with everyone. And you demean. I'm just saying I don't want to be demeaned. Tell them about the rental chart.
So it says here that, like, if you look at the chart here, 2020 to 2021, it was down 1.4%, but then 21 to 2022, up 17.8%. United States annual rent growth.
Yeah, more people are going to be renting from here on out.
That seems to be the case, yeah.
It's going to be, we shut it down. We destroyed people's ability to earn a living and earn income. We fucked up people's credit. We stopped a lot of forward momentum that people had in their lives.